Good morning, Strava, especially VP of Marketing. Thank you for joining me in my presentation of the reimagining of Strava's identity. The problem I found, I wouldn't even say it's a problem, is that Strava, as it is geared towards serious cyclists. And I say this only because I find myself in a different niche of cycling, that which is bike camping, bike touring. And right now I see Strava as a tool to promote cycling, but in a way in which it's geared towards those serious KOM riders. KOM meaning King of the Mountain. Those that want to climb high, climb fast, achieve goals and awards and thumbs ups and likes from that. And that's great. I think that's a great approach, but in my reimagining of Strava, I wanted to tweak it a little bit, and I will further explain throughout this slide. I want Strava to be geared more towards bike camping and bike touring. I'm a big bike camper. I've been doing it for 10 years. First bike tour was 10 years ago as well. And I found that using Strava's foundations of community and, who rode this route, who's been here before, it almost promotes the idea of going, because it's hard to be the first person to a campground not knowing anybody who's been there or even a way to get there, whether you want to do road or dirt. And I found that in this exploration and in this reimagining, I really wanted to promote this idea of adventure, connectivity, and practicality of outdoor pursuits of our riders within the community. So in the next few slides, I'm going to show the research findings of 3 particular riders. We have Sarah. Sarah was great in this research aspect, that she wanted diversity. She wanted scenic routes for long distance biking. Not necessarily wanted to bike camp, though we're getting her there through the use of this app. She really prioritizes route safety. She likes amenities, stopping for food, and what kind of culture is around the routes in which she's riding. Again, she values the community's approach and experience with these routes. She was one of the personas and user task flows I did in creating the app, which I'll show in a little bit. We have Mike. Mike's a little bit more geared towards bike camping solely, not really so interested in long distance bike tours like Sarah is. He wants to be able to find campgrounds, how he can get there by bike. Sometimes it's road. He really loves to ride dirt there. And as it is right now, that's a little bit harder to find within the Strava community. He also wants to be able to look at a campground and see that other cyclists have been there and what they recommend, what gear, food, if there's bathrooms, for example, if there's a fire pit. And in this redesign, we do a good job of giving the community a platform which they can share that with everybody. Then we have Nick. Not me, by the way, just a similar name. Similar interests, though. Nick really enjoys a bit of both. He loves the long distance rides, likes the bike touring, but he really likes camping along these longer bike tours. So, we have Sarah who wants to take the long ride. We have Mike who wants to find the campground. Nick is kind of, that third and final rider we're gearing the redesign towards, in that we want to give him the ability to see who's ridden the routes, what amenities are along the way, what experiences perhaps as he rides through a city to another city or from a campground to another campground. And again, he really enjoys a mix of adventure and the convenience in planning his trips. And with this app, we create more of a convenience for him. Just kind of reiterating here everything I had just said, but my methodology for Strava was really gearing it towards using these 3 riders to kind of create the idea of the app. Sarah, Mike, Nick, whether they want to take a bike tour, they want to find a campground. For example, in San Francisco, you can ride 5 miles to the nearest campground. Perfect. Nick, for example, he's made his way all the way down to Kirk Creek, which is in Big Sur. And using this app would allow him to find many campgrounds along the way and different routes that potentially people have taken. Over these next few slides, I'm just going to cover the brand guidelines in which I wanted to kind of focus in on some of the foundation that is Strava, but also what I've decided to tweak a little bit. I wanted to make it fun, approachable, providing colors that are, an earthy tone. I feel like if I would have stripped too much away from the Strava brand, it would have been a brand new idea, and thus, we don't have that foundation that Strava's created so incredibly well within the cycling community. Again, in this tweak, I am moving it more towards exploration, camping, and a community based around distance and experience more than trying to be the first one there or the fastest one there. Here in the brand colors we kept the Strava orange and the Strava black, Strava white, of course, and then I added in some Strava green just to give it that little bit of a pop. Also kind of, accentuating the idea of outdoors. In the logo, kind of kept that same background shape. The Strava gray A, larger. The Strava green A is inverted. That's kind of the the end of the ride. You've made it to the campground. That's why there's that darker circle will be the moon, and then above by the gray A is this sun. In this next slide, I'm showing, we have ideally the logo at about 512 pixels, clear, sharp, brisk lines. The stroke weight of the lines look right about where we want them to be. When we do shrink it down to about 180 pixels, the stroke weight gets a little thicker. I like it personally. I don't think it gets too distorted. Kind of makes the color pop. And as you can see here with the typeface I chose, it's called Frijole. I like the idea of Frijole. It kind of gives this idea of like eating in the outdoors. Just fun. It's, we kind of stepped away from that more clean sans serif typeface, and I wanted to go with something here just a little bit more like motion oriented. I used Pantano Sans for the text body and the the app icons, and something a little bit more legible, because as you're cycling and writing, if we had Frijole for everything, it'd be probably just a little too jarring for our community to read and comprehend the information on the fly. So, final solution. As I have said, just to kind of surmise real quick, we tweaked the app, small adjustments to the logo, changed the typeface, and all of this is in a hope and attempt to, not that we want to step away and leave behind the community that's already established by Strava, but we want to become more inclusive to bike tourers, bike campers, and those that want to truly get outside on their bike, create a community, and experience adventure in a different kind of way. And I truly believe that with this redesign, we have accomplished that. Again, thank you so much for your time today. This has been an incredible experience. I look forward to any follow-up questions and being in contact. Here's my contact information. My email is nick@stravarebranded.com. My phone number is 1-23456-7890. LinkedIn is attached, and I look forward to embarking on this path together, shaping a vibrant and engaging future for Strava. Thank you so much.